Monday Night Raw took place in Glasgow, Scotland. This show was the fourth consecutive live event in Europe as WWE continues their European tour. And right off the bat, I have to say, as much as I really enjoy these crowds, they're really lively. Although Scotland tonight wasn't as much as the previous three. Maybe that's because they've gotten WWE shows recently, live events. They had Clash of the Castle. Maybe some of them are still a little bit salty for Drew losing. But anyway, compared to a normal American crowd, they were great. But as good as these crowds are, WWE is just not going to bring their A game. It's not a show that's going to be broadcast to most people. Most of their audience is in the United States. So when most people in the U.S. watch these shows, it's not going to be live. And WWE is always like that. Whenever they would do shows in London, Raws in London, they do Raw in London every year. It was always just a throwaway show. And this felt a lot less than that because it's a smaller market in London. And these are great crowds, but if WWE's just going to put on these shows, I don't want them to be in Europe anymore. And it sucks. They're obviously going to do tours, but I don't want to see many more shows from there. I don't care how good the crowds are. They're not going to put any effort. It's just how it's going to be. I mean, there's no excuse for Raw sucking tonight, which it did. But why? This is Netflix. People can watch it anytime. It's different from SmackDown. SmackDown is a live show. It's in the U.S. on USA, so yeah, tape shows always do lower ratings than live shows. That just happens. But fuck. Anyway, let's just get into the show. So we start off with first a show of stills of Allegiant Stadium. Once we get closer to the big events, they like to show us. It's like when the Rumble, they were showing us Lucas Oil Stadium every single week. Now we're seeing Allegiant Stadium every week. This is the host of WrestleMania 41. Really big new stadium. It's where the Raiders play. So we see that, and then we see Glasgow. We see the sights of Glasgow, the architecture, they tell us about the culture, and it's obviously another beautiful European city. Although it did feel a bit more modern than some stuff I saw, but compared to the others. Anyway, you have John Cena. Oh, he's getting booed again, so fans aren't cheering for him, at least in Europe. Maybe in the U.S. they'll cheer for him. Also, I have to say, the stage looks completely different this week. Anyway, Cena mocks the kid in Brussels from last week for making him cry. It almost makes you think, is that kid a plant? Maybe he was. Even if he was, it's not a big deal, but still, it makes you think. The fans start chanting, "Fuck you, Cena." He runs down the crowd, so then they chant, "Shut the fuck up." Do you see the fans? It seemed like they were closer to the ring than usual. Maybe I'm just seeing things. Or maybe because we can see their faces so much more than other crowds. Maybe it was the lighting. Maybe it's the lighting. It felt a little bit more bright. I don't know. But I felt like they were closer to the ring than usual. Cena, I have to say, did a much better promo than last week. Last week was a bit more too much whining. Here is like, "Fuck you, I'm the best. I'm going to be 17 champ." That was the tone. Last week is like, "Oh, you were so mean to me 10 years ago, but you've been cheering from your last 8 years," or whatever it's been. But here it's like, his tone was a lot better here. He says he's going to ruin wrestling and win the 17th world title. Again, no one thinks John Cena winning the 17th world title is ruining wrestling. He says he'll retire with the belt. He even mentioned Ric Flair, and fans booed. Then Cody Rhodes interrupts him. Fans sing a song. Cody challenges Cena, but Cena walks out. And Cena teases going back in, and Cody's saying he's representing the people. So that's how they hyped it. I don't know why. I don't think Cody needed to be here. Cody's being very boring. His segments are just the same. I'm at the point where Cody is like, he might get booed at WrestleMania the way they're booking him, because this was just nothing. He didn't need to be out there. Cena was doing a good job. And I like this promo more than last week, but I don't know. And also, why aren't they mentioning The Rock? Like, they don't even mention The Rock anymore. You'd forget The Rock was even there when Cena turned on Cody at the Chamber, because Rock was playing a big role in the whole "I'll sell me your soul" Cody. They don't even mention The Rock. I'm thinking The Rock's gonna be at WrestleMania. I think for sure, but I'm not sure he's gonna have a role in the main event like he did last year. I'm not sure you're gonna see The Rock win out. People are talking about Stone Cold because Austin's been announced for WWE World in Las Vegas, and that's gonna happen. Austin, I think, will be on the show, and Rock will be on the show as well. But I'm not sure we're gonna get a shot on him because I don't think The Rock's gonna be out there. They're not even mentioning him. I'm gonna give them one more week till London. Maybe they turn things around, but man, I'm not sure we're going to see either Austin or The Rock in the main event of WrestleMania this year. And we didn't get Austin there last year, even though everyone thought he would be there. So we go to Jey Uso. I've made my feelings clear about Jey Uso. I am not a fan. Jimmy Uso's his teammate, so no Joe Hendry. It's Scotland. Isn't this song of America, Scotland, and Mexico? That's how it goes. From London to Paris to Tokyo. Anyway. No Joe Hendry. Sadly, no Joe Hendry. But you have the Usos reunited against A-Town Down Under. Usos win with the 1D. Yeah, I mean, they're a better tag team than... I like them better as a tag team than the singles competitors, especially Jay. He's still a very good tag team wrestler. But, it sucks. Anyway, yeah, Gunther attacked Jimmy, then him and Jay brawl, and Jay trips like an idiot, and then he gets pounded on before Jimmy makes a save. Again, the way they made it, when the first time I thought maybe that was just a botch again, but then I'm thinking to myself, all right, they're playing off the big botch, the dive botch from last week when he had the top dollar moment when he went over the top and his feet got stuck and hit the ropes. That's clearly their angle here. So that's what we're getting. But it just seems like they're forcing to capitalize on last week because Jay fucked up really bad. So we have Judgment Day backstage as Raquel Rodriguez prepares for the Intercontinental title match with Lyra Valkyria. It's the same stuff. I see this every week. It's so repetitive. How many times have I seen in the last several weeks Liv Morgan talking to Dominic Mysterio about Finn Balor being unhappy and Finn just complaining about the Judgment Day? We go, they hype up NXT tomorrow night. They're highlighting Stephanie Vaquer as she defends both her belts next week, tomorrow night. You know, she's going to have a much better showing than all of Raw was tonight, I have to say. They show Bayley backstage giving Lyra Valkyria advice ahead of her match. We get a video package on Chad Gable's new gimmick. He's from the Gulf of America now, that's what they're calling it. He fell so hard from when it's such... I say he fell, but it really is. It's a downfall from where he was last year with Gunther. Remember, he was having all those great matches with Gunther. He had that really classic match on Raw. I think it was a year and a half ago. And most people thought, all right, he's going to face Gunther at WrestleMania. He's going to beat him. They never did it. He just mentored Sami. He turned on Sami. He became a heel again. No one really cared to see him as a heel. He was a heel forever. Now he's just back to where he was. And, he's doing a comedy gimmick. Just, man, he was at such a higher level a while ago. It just makes you think, it's almost a waste. It's like, damn, I know it's a size and stuff, but fuck. Anyway, maybe it's just because where he was last year. The gimmick itself is fairly entertaining. It's not the worst thing. You have LWO talking to Pierce. They are upset with Gable, and Gable says he says he's not a luchador. They set up a match tonight with the Luchador Americano versus Dragon Lee. We go to Lyra Valkyria and Raquel Rodriguez. Fans like Lyra Valkyria. She's Irish, and this is in Scotland, so it's a neighboring country. Obviously, they're going to like Lyra. Their fellow Celtic woman. They'll like her. And she's okay here. I like Lyra, but it just feels like she needs a little bit more. There's just something missing. I think it's just a lack of charisma she has. I think that's the issue. Her gimmick, the whole woo. I mean, Charlotte Flair has to be a little bit annoyed, wouldn't she? And, the fans do the woo. The announcers do the woo. Pat McAfee does the woo every single minute or every single second, which is really annoying. I mean, Pat McAfee really is annoying. When the product gets really good, he can be entertaining. He can add a lot. When it starts to get boring, he has to make it more entertaining. It can be really freaking annoying sometimes. So Lyra is she counters a Tejana bomb from Raquel. She gets a roll up for the win, and Liv and Raquel attack Lyra before Bayley makes a save. The fans sing the whole "Oh Bayley, will you be my girl?" Scotland, but it's still the UK. So whether it's England or Scotland, fans in the UK have to cheer for Bayley, and they'll do the song they sing to her. They're serenading her like they did in NXT, but it's still in 2025. At least Bayley has that, because in the US it just seems like she gets no reaction anymore. They show Pat McAfee. He was in Scotland, in Glasgow earlier in the day, and he purchased a kilt, and he's wearing a kilt on Raw. So thank you for your kilts, Pat. They do a recap. Anyway, I'm speaking too hard. I get it. It's Scotland, but I mean the guy just can be annoying sometimes. And the show just wasn't very good tonight. It just feels like they're not even trying. It just feels like a freaking house show. And I'm a little annoyed if you can't tell by my tone. It was a house show to them. They're not even putting out effort. It's freaking WrestleMania. Even if it's just Glasgow, it's not a huge market. Come on, man. It's WrestleMania season. Do something more. Anyway, I think they'll do better next week in London just because it's London. It can't be as bad as Glasgow. It's a bigger market. They do a recap of the women's title feud. Adam Pearce holds a contract as he heads to the ring. They show Jackie Redmond interviewing the New Day at ringside, and they announce natural disasters in the Hall of Fame. That's Earthquake and Typhoon. Good for them. They deserve it. Earthquake deserves it, as does Typhoon. But, I mean, they weren't really a good tag team because they weren't together that long. I know people are a little bit upset, as am I. Not upset, more disappointed. I want to see Demolition go in, and they'll eventually go in. They'll probably go in next year. And just having going in New Orleans, it's not a big deal. It's just that with Demolition, they're older, and, Earthquake did pass away. So that's unfortunate, but Demolition, we don't know how many years they're going to be around longer, and you just want to see them go in, and eventually I think they will. They'll probably go in next year, but I don't mind Earthquake and that Typhoon going in. So they show backstage Jimmy's giving Jay a pep talk on the stairs. He's saying he needs the right-hand man. They're trying to do something with Jay. I think even they realize the yeets is it's annoying. And it's not working. I think they're starting to see the scad, the chatter online. It's starting to turn against Jay. Jimmy walks into Gunter backstage, and he challenges him to a match, and he slaps the taste out of his mouth. Gunter smiles. I just thought, wow, Gunter's going to kill Jimmy next week. And that's going to be the big heat angle. That might be what the feud needs. We'll see what happens next week. I have to say, the way they're hyping up next week, it does seem there's a lot more going on. Adam Pearce is in the ring. He holds a contract. He says Rhea won't be in the match. Io Sky comes out and says she wants them both at WrestleMania. Bianca Belair comes out. She's acting pretty heel. She says she doesn't want Rhea, and it's clear Bianca's the heel, and the fans have picked up on it because they really were booing her here. Rhea comes out asking for a rematch. Pearce is upset about this, and then he announces a rematch next week with Io and Rhea in London. The three of them brawl, and Bianca stands tall. She hits the KOD onto Io, and she takes her out of the ring, and she lands on Rhea, and her and Rhea are out, and Bianca stands tall as the fans boo. Dom talks to Penta with this match with Braun tonight. New Day demands a tag team title match. Pearce tells them to get lost, and Bianca shows up in his office. She wants to know who she's facing. I mean, I'm thinking, yeah, he just fucking told you. It's Rhea and Io in a rematch next week, and you face the winner. Why is that so hard? They just make Bianca look like an idiot here. Pearce says she's a special guest referee next week. I'm thinking to myself, why? Okay, you don't need to do it. You can just do a DQ finish without getting involved. Whatever, she's a special guest referee. You have Dragon Lee and El Grande Americano. This was a pretty good match. This was probably my favorite part of the show, besides the Cena stuff. This was a good match. I like the ending with El Grande Americano, that's his name. He rips off Dragon Lee's mask, and Dragon Lee immediately hides his face. He doesn't do a good job of it. You can kind of see what he looks like. And then Gable just locked in the ankle lock for the win. The show highlights of the brawl from SmackDown last week. CM Punk's out for, again, a nothing quick promo. Fans changed his name, even though he screwed Drew last time they were in Scotland at the Clash of the Castle show. Punk says he works with children. That's referencing his infamous AEW meltdown at the Scrum. He attacks Rollins as a diaper baby, and then he announces the contract signing next week, which is fine. And he says that he brought both Roman and Seth into the business, and he'll bring them out. I'm sure the reference when Punk said that he invented the Shield in his infamous podcast interview with Colt Cabana. Logan Paul's in London next week. They preview next week's show. They hype up NXT tomorrow. Then they go outside the arena where Kathy Kelly interviews Braun Breaker. And Breaker's a total face now. Chad Gable cuts a promo while pretending to be sick. And then you have Braun Breaker and Penta. He had Judgment Day interfering, causing a DQ. Fans chant, "Fuck you, Dom." Finn beats down Braun with the chair. They try to get Penta to join. He takes out Dom and said, but Balor beats down Penta, and then he beats up Braun, both of them with chairs. I think he hit Braun with the chair, and he hit Penta with the double stomp. Judgment Day stands tall, and that's how the show ended. Very uneventful. Treats European live events as host shows. I'm thinking, even though these fans are really good, if this is what they're gonna do, I'd just rather it just be in the U.S. And you can do the European tour, just do like the one show in London or whatever, one Raw, one SmackDown in London, and just come back to the U.S. and do your shows. Because if this is what they're gonna do, whatever, I'm not into it because they're not putting out any effort. Fans are great, but the company's not gonna put out any effort. I mean, it kind of sucks watching live. So that was Raw from Glasgow. As you can see, not a good show in my opinion. And we'll see what WWE does. Hopefully, SmackDown's better than this. I know NXT will be, but hopefully SmackDown is, and I'm sure Raw next week in London will be a bigger show. As we continue to drive down the road to WrestleMania.